Hello everyone, and welcome to new moon in the earth sign Taurus. It actually, the new moon goes live at about 1:30 this afternoon here in Los Angeles, so in a couple of hours. And we're enjoying this earthy, fruitful, blossoming fullness of this time of year just after spring. So with all the energy of the last moon phase in Aries, we're now feeling the groundedness, the earthiness of Taurus. Anybody has their sun in Taurus, or any other signs, planets in Taurus? My husband. Okay. So maybe some of these things will resonate with you. The keywords that I love to use, just to get a sort of overall aspect of this sign, are grounded. Just as I said that. Grounded, stable, sensual, practical, realistic, persevering, and productive. And Taurus is also very closely associated with Venus. So we could look at the erotic love of Venus, or Aphrodite, one of my favorite, she's my patron goddess. And an affirmation for Taurus is, I am in a body to enjoy the sacred pleasures of the senses. So Taurus really invites us to be still and enjoy the fruit of Mother Earth that she gives us, especially at this time of year. Also known as the Earth Spirit, the cultivator, reliable, patient, grounded, earthy, resourceful, artistic, embodied, steady, tranquil, abundant, loyal, and trustworthy. The shadow side of Taurus can be materialistic, stubborn, resisting change, possessive, and hedonistic. So those are the shadow sides. So we're also at a partial solar eclipse. So it's a very powerful time to work with our physical world, our surroundings, and our material circumstances. So in that, this could be a change in your environment, where you live, your identity, relationships, your personal power, and your personal medicine. It's a very powerful time for beginnings and sudden endings too. And maybe some of you are experiencing this. And I also just wanted to give a shout out before we start to everybody who joined me on the 29-day journey, Attune to the Cycles of the Moon. We just finished that yesterday. So we spent the whole month, this month, April, we're still in April, which actually this new moon in Taurus is known as the black moon, because it's the second new moon of the month. This is the opposite when we have two full moons in a month, which is known as the blue moon. So this is a black moon. We did 29 days looking at all the phases and what they mean, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of deep work. Some of it challenging for some of us, and but it was really good to really get into every single of the phases of the moon, the 8 phases, which you can correspond to the chakra system as well. So I may be doing that again, so I'll let you all know when that comes up again. So a little recap again of what we're going to do today. Let's see. I love to read a poem, which I will do, and Vanessa reminded me it is just coming to the last day of National Poetry Month. So just a little recap. The qualities excuse me, of Taurus are sensualist, rooted, and pleasure driven. And also we're going to be looking at pleasure. Everything you can do in your life to bring more pleasure into your day. That could be your intention for this day, is how can I bring more pleasure into my life? How can I savor the moment? How can I savor eating? I love this first thing in the morning, having my coffee. I like to take my time. I don't know if anybody else feels that same way. And the last thing you want to do is to cut off sensuality or pleasure is by rushing. So to slow down, especially at this new moon, rooted in the sign of Taurus, and enjoy some sensuality, drinking in all the senses that are around you, making time to be in nature and to, sit still and enjoy the moment. So during our guided meditation, we will focus on invoking all the senses and perseverance, so that you make progress step by step and develop a solid foundation rooted in this earth sign, and enjoying pleasure, so that you release any judgment and get in touch with your self-worth. Taurus is all about self-worth. And let's look at, how are you loving yourself? Can you love yourself more? Are you being judgmental? We all do it. But getting into the qualities of Taurus. And Taurus also governs money. So it's a good time to start a savings account or look at your money situation, and releasing stubbornness around something that maybe you've been wanting to change. So we're going to be looking at that. Taurus definitely rules the physical senses, like I mentioned, sensuality, heightened tactile enjoyment, massage, physical comfort, aromas and tastes. What aromas are you surrounding yourself with? Do you have a scented candle? Do you use aromatherapy in your space? Bring all that in this month. Taurus also rules accumulation, that is money, material comforts, ownerships, and possessions. Enjoyment of life on earth, including appreciation, gratitude, simple physical pleasures, rapport with nature, satisfaction, and contentment. Taurus also rules building. That's solid foundations. Think of the earth sign. Persistence, progressing step by step, thoughtfulness, and perseverance. Reliability, patience, dependability, trustworthiness, and steadfastness. And self-worth, awareness of your personal needs, setting appropriate boundaries, strong values, determination, and self-acceptance. Again, the shadow side, stubbornness, attachment, resistance to change, possessiveness, holding dogmatic opinions, and stagnation, the shadow side. So with the fruition of Mother Earth and all that she provides us, I have a poem called The Rose. The treasure at the heart of a rose is your own heart's treasure. Scatter it as the rose does. Your pain becomes hers to measure. Scatter it in a song or in one great love's desire. Do not resist the rose, lest you burn in its fire. And that's from Women in Praise of the Sacred. It's 43 Centuries of Spiritual Poetry by Women, edited by Jane Hertzfield. So what I'd like to do now is, I've got a candle lit here. Do you have your candle? If not, I've got one here. And I'm going to burn some sage. My husband is not here in the house. I'm so happy because I can burn sage. He doesn't like it. So I'm taking advantage. So burning sage to clear the air. Smells so good. That's funny. Yeah. It's nice when our husbands leave the house and we can be a little bit more sensual. This smells so good. Knowing that hopefully you can smell this coming through the ethers. So let's get ourselves comfortable for our guided meditation during this dark moon phase. Time to go within. Really, it's a time not to set big projects. This time in the new moon we use to go within so that we can take action during the next few days. But as our ancestors did during this dark moon phase, they planted seeds, new thoughts, new ideas. But in order to get clear, we must first get quiet and go within. This new moon phase follows the last quarter and the waning moon. So the cycle of the moon, our inner cycles begins again. We can restart and look at areas of our life that we want to cultivate, let go. And in this earthy Taurus, it's a reminder to drink in all the sensual elements, but be grounded and rooted at the same time. And at this phase of the dark moon is the wise woman, the crone. So if you're comfortable, we'll begin by closing our eyes and feeling rooted, either feet on the ground or if you're lying down, and rooting your first chakra, the root chakra, the bottom of your spine, sitting with your back tall so the energy can move up your spine. Feeling the roots, your roots from your root chakra burying down your tendrils deep, deep into the Earth's stratosphere so that you can feel stable and grounded as you grow and blossom. I'm taking some deep breaths, letting go of the thoughts. Becoming aware of your breath. On each breath, deepening your inhale and deepening your exhale. Filling your body with much needed energy, oxygen, love. And bringing awareness to Mother Earth. Our bodies are of hers, our bones, the soil, the richness. Our home, where we live, where we're sheltered and protected. Mother Earth, always giving, never asking for anything in return, only that we love and protect our home. Mother Earth that gives us our food, a safe place to live. And giving reverence to all the creatures that live with us on this sacred planet, Mother Earth. All the sentient beings, the insects, the birds, the fishes, and the trees and the plants. And also honoring Grandfather Sky, Mother Earth, the sacred balance of masculine and feminine. We're also at the eve of Beltane. Honoring the masculine and feminine. I have memories growing up in England, dancing on the maypole, intertwining the ribbons, symbolizing the masculine and the feminine together, dancing in harmony. So during this new moon, in Taurus. Sensuality. Are you drinking in all your senses? Have you cut yourself off from any sensuality through maybe not any fault of yours, but we all need reminding of the sensual delights that Mother Earth bestows upon us. Have you been rushing through your meals? Or have you taken time in the morning or in the afternoon, in the evening, and set a place for yourself at the table or your loved ones and enjoyed a meal together, savoring the delights? How can you bring in more pleasure in your life? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could just be making a date for yourself to sit and enjoy in quiet, tranquil moments with your cup of coffee or tea in the morning. Maybe taking it outside and enjoying the elements outside, the blossoms, the sign of new growth, the roses. Looking at pleasure. What does pleasure mean to you? How can you invite more pleasure into your life? Or add a little sprinkling of pleasure into your day? Oftentimes we deny ourselves pleasure, thinking we don't have time, but really it's wrapped in a bundle of self-worth. Am I worthy? Yes, you are worthy of pleasure. Asking for what you want, creating your own pleasure, whatever that looks like to you. Taurus reminds us of our self-worth and abundance. How can you bring in more abundance in your life? Where has that been lacking? Drinking in that wonderful warm blanket of abundance. It could be as simple as buying yourself some flowers, picking a rose from outside and bringing it inside, putting it somewhere where you'll see it often. These practices get you in a place of gratitude and contentment. And then finally, being rooted in this earth sign invites us to practice perseverance, step by step, rooted, grounded, solid, clear. Where maybe have you been wavering in a decision or an action or a need or a want? Could you invite the solid foundation of this earth sign to ground you so that you're not distracted? If you're looking to make change, steer in a different direction, where can you practice that perseverance? Within yourself, or having patience with someone else? Can you persevere and be solid and rooted in your foundation? During this partial eclipse, it's reminding us to have compassion and understanding and care for others as well as ourselves. Unconditional love is needed. It's always needed, but we know it's needed more and more. And Taurus also reminds us to pay attention to ourselves so we're not being used as a doormat. So creating strong boundaries. And this is also a good time to reach out and connect with others. Do something for others. Now bringing our attention back and mixing all those delightful, pleasure-driven, sensual, grounded images that came to you during this meditation, drinking it all in, literally taking a sip from a gorgeous teacup or coffee cup, where you've placed all those intentions and images and tastes and sounds and smells, drinking them all in, savoring each and every one. Maybe you need to stir them up a little first before you drink it, so that it's the right combination for you. And taking one more sip. Looks like you've finished the cup. Tastes good. slowly come back. Eyes are soft. Soft gaze. And ready to do some writing. If you get your journals. And as usual, we'll do about 5 minutes each question. We have 3 questions. First one is, where can I enjoy the senses? Where can I enjoy the senses in my day? Could it be getting up 5 minutes earlier and taking your coffee outside? Could it be setting time aside to enjoy what you're already doing, but just savoring the time on this earth by bringing in and honoring your senses? So we'll do that 5 minutes. And just wrapping up that question. And the next question, where are your roots? Your foundation? Are they firmly planted, or are they on a weak foundation? And how can you establish strong roots? How can you establish a strong foundation and strong roots? Another minute. And the last question, how loving are you to yourself. How loving are you to yourself? Governed by Venus, earthly love, Taurus reminds us of that earthly love. So 5 minutes, how loving are you to yourself? Can you be more loving? And how can you do that? 5 minutes. And just wrapping up that last question. How can you be more loving with yourself? Anybody have any aha things to share in the chat? But maybe where you've been cutting off sensuality or not being entirely loving to yourself. Yeah, self-love can be a challenge for some of us. But I do invite you to start small little gestures, such as buying yourself flowers, giving yourself some tender, loving care, or talk to yourself like you talk to others. Yeah, eating food that's good for me in quantities that are appropriate, right? That's that 80% full rule, right? Yeah. You become your own best friend. Talk to yourself and treat yourself like you would your best friend. And not rushing through our days and multitasking while we eat, that we just take the time to savor our food and nourishment. And that could be nourishment through other senses, through sight, sound, touch, that we embrace nature and take in all the senses as we spend time in nature, that we're not talking or on our phones or distracted, that we drink in the bounty of nature. Yeah, honoring boundaries too, within ourselves and others, and keeping the promises that we've made to ourselves. Right, and that's when that rootedness comes in, because if the roots and foundations are strong in the first place, then the boundaries will be honored. because you've made a decision and your roots are strong. Thank you for the invitation to blah, 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 or sounds like a great idea, but I've already made my decision, right? Sticking with that, honoring your boundaries. Yeah. And again, that you give really good advice to yourself, just like you would a friend. And reminding yourself that you are in a body to enjoy the sacred pleasures of the senses. We are sensual beings. And I picked our group card. This one is, the intention is, I receive the love of my planet and all living beings who reside here. And in turn, I send love to the planet and all living beings who reside here. My intention is to open a pathway and energy stream of love that is given and received freely for all sentient beings. So reminder that giving and receiving love, that Taurus is all about abundance, and at this time connected with Venus love, Aphrodite love, enjoying the sacred pleasures, being artistic, practical, embodied, steady, tranquil, abundant, reliable, grounded in Mother Earth, rooted deep. Yes, remind yourself that you are in a body to enjoy the sacred pleasures of the senses. You're in a body to enjoy the sacred pleasures of the senses. So if you were to own that word, pleasure, during this month in Taurus, could you invite more pleasure into your day? Start small. Could you do that? Yes. That's good to know that we're all on the same page. So thank you for joining again during this new moon phase, and thank you for those who made a donation. I appreciate it. And I don't have the date set for next month, but it should be a Saturday, I think. I didn't look ahead, sorry. It'll be a Friday or Saturday. I could look real quick. Let's see. Just bear with me. Should be May 30th. May 30th. Sunday or Monday. Oh, maybe Sunday. And we'll confirm that with you. Oh, thank you. What was the name of the book you quoted earlier? Women in Praise of the Sacred. It's It's 43 Centuries of Spiritual Poetry by Women, edited by Jane Hirschfield. Women in Praise of the Sacred. I've read poems from here quite a bit. But yeah, there's some wonderful poetry in there. Hope you got that. So until next month, look out for emails and reminders, and bring more pleasure into your life.